First up, the 1945 D. Lincoln Wheat Penny. While millions of these coins were minted, their value can still surprise you, especially if you're a coin collector or just curious about what an old penny might be worth today. Specifically, we'll focus on the value of a 1945 D. Wheat penny in damaged condition and what that really means in the current coin market. To start with some background, the Lincoln Wheat Penny series was produced from 1909 to 1958. These coins featured the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and two wheat ears on the reverse, hence the nickname Wheat Penny. The 1945 D. Wheat Penny was minted in Denver. As indicated by the small D mint mark located just below the date on the obverse of the coin in 1945, the United States was just coming out of World War II, and the U.S. Mint continued producing large quantities of coins to meet the demands of a recovering economy. The Denver Mint struck over 266 million Lincoln Wheat Pennies in 1945. Because of this high mintage, the 1945 D is not considered rare in general, and in circulated condition, it is quite easy to find. However, collectors are often interested in coins not just because of their age or rarity, but also because of their condition. This is where the value of a coin can vary dramatically. A coin in pristine, uncirculated condition can be worth significantly more than the same coin that's been damaged, worn, or corroded. So what exactly does damaged mean in the context of coin collecting? A damaged coin is one that has suffered physical harm after it left the mint. This could include scratches, bends, corrosion from being exposed to the elements, holes drilled into the coin, or any other alteration that lowers its visual appeal and historical integrity. Collectors generally prefer coins in the best condition possible, and damage reduces both the aesthetic and numismatic value. Now, let's talk about the current market value of a 1945 the D. Wheat Penny in damaged condition. It's important to be realistic. Because the 1945 D. Penny is a common date with a high mintage, even coins in excellent condition are not especially valuable. As of today's market, a 1945 D. Wheat Penny in average circulated condition, which means some wear but no major damage, is typically worth between 3 to 10 cents. If it's in very fine or extra fine condition, it might bring in closer to 25 cents to $1. But when we shift to coins that are considered damaged, the value drops significantly. In many cases, coin dealers and collectors won't pay more than face value 1 cent for a damaged coin of this type. That's because the damage takes away from the coin's appeal and makes it unsuitable for most collections. However, there are exceptions. If a damaged coin still has some unique features, like a strong strike, an unusual error, or high eye appeal despite the damage, it might be of interest to a niche collector. For example, a 1945 D. penny that has environmental damage but still shows most of the design clearly might sell for 5 to 10 cents on online platforms like eBay or Etsy. The value is not high, but it's still more than face value. In rare cases, if there is a mint error along with the damage, such as a doubled die or off-center strike, the coin could be worth more, sometimes even a few dollars, depending on the severity of the error and its visibility. Still, for a standard damaged 1945 D. penny without any special characteristics, most buyers won't offer more than a few cents. If you're selling such a coin, your best bet would be bulk sales offering a group of wheat pennies together, including your damaged 1945 D to a buyer who wants them for educational use, art projects, or beginner coin collecting sets. It's also worth noting that coin values can fluctuate over time based on demand and the price of copper. The 1945 D. wheat penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, and at today's copper prices, the metal value alone is around 2 to 3 cents. However, it is illegal to melt down pennies for their metal content in the United States, so this theoretical value doesn't translate into practical resale value for individual coins. In conclusion, while the 1945 the D wheat penny is a fun piece of history and a great example of mid-20th century American coinage, its value in damaged condition remains low. Most of these coins, unless they have an error or unusual feature, will sell for only a few cents. That said, they're still an excellent entry point for new collectors and a great way to explore American history through currency. So, if you have a damaged 1945 D wheat penny, it may not be worth much in dollars, but it still carries historical value and can be a fun item to keep or share with others. If you're looking to sell or trade it, just set your expectations accordingly. For more valuable coins, focus on higher-grade specimens or those with recognized mint errors. Next up, the 1945 wheat penny is a common coin that many people come across in old change jars, inherited coin collections, or even in circulation. If you've found one, especially without a mint mark and in worn or bad condition, you might be wondering if it has any value. In this video, we'll explore the 1945 wheat penny from the Philadelphia Mint, talk about its historical background, discuss what bad condition means in coin collecting, and find out how much this coin is worth in today's market. To start with the basics, the 1945 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln cent series that began in 1909. These coins were designed by Victor D. Brenner and feature Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse, and two wheat ears on the reverse. That reverse design gave these coins their nickname, wheat pennies. The design remained in use until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design. In 1945, the United States was still in the middle of World War II, and the U.S. Mint produced a large number of Lincoln cents to support the wartime economy. The Philadelphia Mint, which does not use a mint mark, produced over 1 billion Lincoln cents that year, more specifically, about 140,515,000 coins. This extremely high mintage makes the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark one of the most common wheat pennies in existence. Because of this, most 1945 wheat pennies do not hold high value, especially in what collectors call bad or heavily circulated condition. But before we get into pricing, it's important to understand what condition means in coin collecting. Coin collectors use a grading scale to describe the wear and appearance of a coin. A coin in bad condition generally refers to grades like good, G4, or about good, AG3. In this state, the coin has heavy wear. Lincoln's features on the obverse may be flat, and details like his hair or the lines in his coat may be almost completely worn away. On the reverse, the wheat stalks are usually faint, and the rim might be worn down to the letters. Despite the wear, the date and main design elements are still visible, but barely. So what is a 1945 wheat penny in this kind of condition worth in today's market? The short answer is about 1 to 3 cents. Even though the coin is old, its value is still very close to face value because so many of them were produced and survived. The coin is made mostly of copper, so in some cases, its value might be slightly influenced by the current price of copper metal. But since the penny weighs just 3.11 grams, it doesn't add up to much in scrap value either. Still, there are a few reasons people choose to keep coins like these. First, they are a piece of history. The fact that your 1945 penny circulated during or just after World War II connects it to an important time in American and world history. Second, many collectors try to build complete sets of Lincoln wheat. Pennies and even low-grade examples help fill those slots. For that reason, coins in poor condition still have a home in beginner collections or historical displays. It's also worth noting that although the vast majority of 1945 wheat pennies are common, there are a few rare errors and varieties that could make a particular coin more valuable, even in bad condition. Some known errors for 1945 wheat pennies include off-center strikes, die cracks, and lamination errors. These are manufacturing defects that can occur during the minting process. While most minor errors won't raise the value dramatically, certain dramatic or eye-catching mistakes can be worth more to collectors. For example, a 1945 penny struck significantly off-center, meaning part of the design is missing, can sometimes sell for $5 to $20 or more, depending on how dramatic the error is. A coin with a visible die crack or lamination issue might be worth slightly more than face value to someone who collects error coins. However, these types of coins are not common and usually need to be clearly visible to add extra value. If you happen to find a 1945 wheat penny with an unusual look or striking error, it's a good idea to compare it to known error types, or even get a second opinion from a coin dealer or online coin community. But in most cases, a standard 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark in poor condition is very common and will not bring in more than a few cents. Now, if your 1945 penny is in better shape, say in very fine or extremely fine condition, it might be worth 10 to 25 cents. Uncirculated examples can go for $1 to $5 or more, especially if they have good eye appeal and original red color. But for the focus of this video, we're talking about coins in poor shape, and in that category, values stay very low. So to summarize, the 1945 wheat penny without a mint mark was made in huge numbers by the Philadelphia Mint. In average worn condition, its value today is between 1 and 3 cents. Unless the coin has a rare error or is in much higher condition, it's considered a common date with low collector value. However, it still has historical significance, and it can be a great starting point for new collectors or those building a full Lincoln cent set. If you find one in your change or collection, don't expect it to fund your next vacation, but it's still a fun and educational piece to hang on to. Whether for the history, the design, or the chance of finding a rare variety, wheat pennies like this continue to capture the interest of coin collectors across generations. Next up, the 1957 Lincoln wheat penny without a mint mark, and discuss its current market value in average circulated condition. Specifically in the common black or dark brown shade, many of these older coins take on with age. If you've recently found a 1957 wheat penny in your change or in a coin jar and are wondering if it's worth anything, this video will break it all down for you. Let's start with a quick background. The Lincoln wheat penny was produced from 1909 through 1958. These coins feature a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner, and 2 stylized wheat stalks on the reverse, which is why they're often referred to as wheat pennies. This design was replaced in 1959 by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, to mark the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The 1957 wheat penny is one of the final issues in the wheat penny series. It was minted in large numbers, making it one of the more common dates in the entire series. The version without a mint mark means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1957, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 282 million wheat pennies without a mint mark. That high production number plays a major role in determining the value of this coin today. Now let's talk about the condition of your coin. You mentioned that the coin is in a normal black or dark brown color. This color is very typical for circulated copper coins, especially those that are decades old. The coin's original color would have been a reddish copper tone when it left the mint, but exposure to air, oils from hands, moisture, and environmental conditions causes copper coins to darken over time. A blackish or dark brown patina is common and is usually considered a sign of age, not necessarily damage, although it can reduce the appeal to some collectors who prefer red or red-brown tones. In the coin collecting world, condition plays a critical role in value. Coins are generally categorized as being in circulated or uncirculated condition. Within circulated condition, there are several levels, including good, very good, fine, very fine, and extremely fine. Most 1957 pennies found in circulation today fall somewhere between good and very fine condition. These coins will show moderate to heavy wear, and in your case, a dark tone from circulation and age. So what is a 1957 wheat penny with no mint mark in this type of condition worth today? The truth is that it is still a very common coin. Because of the large number of coins produced and the fact that many have survived in circulation or in collections, a circulated 1957 penny without a mint mark typically sells for between 1 and 3 cents. Yes, that's slightly above face value, but not by much. The black or dark brown tone doesn't usually increase the value and may, in some cases, slightly decrease it if the color results from corrosion or environmental damage. However, if the coin is still in decent shape with visible details and no serious damage like scratches, dents, or pitting, then it can still hold interest for beginning collectors or be sold in bulk with other wheat pennies. One thing that could increase the value significantly is if the coin has a mint error. For example, a 1957 penny with a double die error, an off-center strike, or a clipped planchet could be worth a few dollars or even more depending on the error type and condition. However, these errors are not common and need to be verified by a coin expert or grading service. If your coin does not have an error and is in average circulated condition with a dark tone, then its value in today's market is likely between 1 and 5 cents. On online marketplaces like eBay, Etsy, or coin forums, these coins often sell in lots, such as rolls of 50 or 100 wheat pennies, for a few dollars. The individual value per coin in those bulk sales often comes down to 2 or 3 cents each, uncirculated. Examples of the 1957 no mint mark penny, meaning coins that were never used and retain their original red color and mint luster, can be worth more. These can range from 50 cents to a few dollars, and in higher grades certified by grading services like PCGS or NGC, they may be valued between $5 and $15 or more. But again, that applies only to coins in near-perfect condition with no signs of wear or damage. In summary, the 1957 wheat penny without a mint mark is a common and inexpensive coin in average circulated condition. With a normal dark brown or black tone from age, it generally sells for just a few cents unless it has an unusual mint error or is in exceptional condition. While it's not likely to make you rich, it still holds historical value and is a great piece of mid-20th century American coinage. It's also a nice starting point for new collectors or a fun item to keep as a piece of history. If you're planning to sell it, you might consider grouping it with other wheat pennies and selling them as a lot. This tends to attract more buyers and provides better value overall than trying to sell individual coins of such low market value. Next up, the 1957 D wheat penny is one of the most common wheat cents produced in the United States, but despite its high mintage, it still captures the interest of collectors. In this video, we'll explore the history of the 1957 D wheat penny, examine its features, discuss what good condition means for this coin, and break down its current value in the collector's market. The wheat penny, also known as the Lincoln wheat cent, was minted from 1909 to 1958. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the coin features a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front side, and 2 stylized wheat ears flanking the words 1 cent on the reverse. This design was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical person and was introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. By 1957, the wheat cent was nearing the end of its production. The following year, in 1958, the design was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial Reverse, which remained in use until 2008. As such, 1957 wheat pennies are among the last of their kind, and, although not rare, they hold historical interest as part of the final chapter of the wheat cent series. The 1957 D penny was minted in Denver, as indicated by the small D mint mark just below the date on the obverse. The Denver Mint struck an impressive 1,051,342,000 wheat cents that year, making the 1957 D one of the most abundantly produced wheat pennies of all time. Because of this high mintage, it is very easy to find examples of this coin in circulation, coin shops, and online marketplaces. Now let's talk about condition. In coin collecting, condition, or grade, plays a significant role in determining a coin's value. For wheat pennies, the Sheldon scale is commonly used, ranging from poor 1 to mint state 70. When we talk about a coin in good condition, we are referring to a coin that falls somewhere around G4 on this scale. This means that the coin is heavily worn, with major details still visible but faint. For example, Lincoln's hair and jawline might be mostly smooth, and the wheat ears on the reverse may show minimal detail. However, the date, lettering, and mint mark are still fully readable. Because the 1957 D penny is so common, a coin in good condition is not considered rare or especially desirable by advanced collectors. However, there is still a market for it, particularly among beginners, casual collectors, and those interested in building a complete set of Lincoln wheat pennies. As of today's market, a 1957 D wheat penny in good condition typically sells for around 5 to 10 cents. This is slightly above its face value of 1 cent, but far below the prices that rare or high-grade coins can command. The small premium reflects its value as a historical item and collectible rather than its intrinsic metal content or scarcity. If you happen to find a 1957 D penny in your change, it's not going to make you rich, but it does serve as a small piece of American history that connects us to a different era of coinage. While common in lower grades, coins in extremely high condition or with unusual errors can be worth significantly more. For instance, a 1957 D wheat penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear, can be worth between $1 and $5 depending on the grade. If it is certified by a professional grading service such as PCGS or NGC, and graded as MS-65 or higher, its value can increase even more, sometimes reaching $10 to $20 or more, especially if the coin has brilliant red luster and excellent eye appeal. There are also some error coins and varieties associated with the 1957 D penny that can bring a premium. These include doubled dies, off-center strikes, and repunched mint marks. Coins with clear and dramatic errors can be worth significantly more, ranging from a few dollars to several hundred, depending on the nature and visibility of the error. However, these are relatively rare and must be authenticated by experts. When evaluating your 1957 D wheat penny, it's important to consider both its condition and whether it might exhibit any unusual features. Coins that have been cleaned, scratched, or otherwise damaged are usually worth less, even if they appear shiny. Original surfaces and natural toning are preferred by most collectors. If you're interested in selling your 1957 D penny, the best approach is to check recent sales on platforms like eBay or visit a local coin dealer. Keep in mind that dealers often buy at wholesale prices, so what you receive may be lower than the retail value. If you're buying, be sure to look for coins that are accurately described and, if possible, certified by a reputable grading service for higher value examples. In summary, the 1957 D wheat penny in good condition is a highly common coin with modest value, typically worth between 5 and 10 cents. While it won't finance a retirement, it's a great entry point for new collectors and a reminder of America's rich numismatic history. Whether you're sorting through pocket change, starting a coin collection, or simply curious about old coins, the 1957 D wheat penny is an affordable and accessible way to connect with the past. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more coin collecting content. See you, and next time, happy collecting. Next up, the 1951 D wheat penny, and explore its value in extra fine condition in the current coin market. While this particular coin may seem like an ordinary old penny to some collectors, know that there are still certain examples of the 1951 Lincoln wheat cent that can carry more value than expected, especially when preserved in strong condition, like extra fine. The Lincoln wheat penny is a coin that holds a special place in American numismatic history. Introduced in 1909 to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. The design by Victor David Brenner was the first U.S. coin to feature the image of a real person. The reverse design with two stylized wheat ears remained in use until 1958, making this series known simply as the wheat penny. The 1951 wheat penny was struck at the Denver Mint, as indicated by the small D mint mark located just beneath the date on the obverse of the coin. In total, over 625 million 1951 wheat pennies were minted, which makes this a very high mintage coin, and as a result, it is considered common by most collectors. However, condition is everything in coin collecting, and this is where values begin to shift. When we talk about extra fine condition, we're referring to a coin that still shows most of its design details clearly, with only light wear on the highest points. The lines in Lincoln's coat should be visible, and the wheat stalks on the reverse should show clear definition. Coins in this condition are generally appealing to collectors who want sharp detail without paying the higher prices of uncirculated or mint-state examples. Now let's get into the value. In general, a 1951 wheat penny in circulated average condition is worth just 1 to 3 cents, mostly due to the fact that it is so common, and most examples are heavily worn. However, a coin in extra fine condition stands out and carries more collector interest because of the sharp detail and overall eye appeal as of today's market. A 1951 wheat penny in extra fine condition typically sells for between 25 cents and 50 cents. That value may not seem high, but it's significantly more than face value, and several times more than the average worn example. That price can increase, depending on other factors like color luster and the presence of any unique qualities that make the coin more attractive to collectors. Color plays a notable role in the value of copper coins, including the 1951 penny A coin that still retains its original red or red-brown coloring from the mint will usually be valued higher than one that has toned to a dark brown color over time. An extra fine 1951 penny with a red-brown tone might fetch closer to 75 cents or even $1, especially if it has sharp details and no visible damage. Another factor that can affect the value is market demand. While the 1951 is not rare, demand for wheat pennies in better condition has been relatively steady over the years due to their popularity among collectors, especially those assembling full sets of Lincoln cents from 1909 through 1958. Extra fine examples are commonly sought after because they strike a good balance between affordability and visual quality. Coins that have been professionally graded and encapsulated by a major grading service like PCGS or NGC may sell for slightly more even in the same condition because buyers have confidence in the authentication and condition certification. However, due to the modest value of a 1951 penny in extra fine condition, it is generally not cost-effective to pay for third-party grading unless the coin is in an even higher state, such as mint state 65 or better. Let's also touch briefly on errors. While they are rare, any mint errors found on a 1951 wheat penny, such as a doubled die off-center strike, die cracks, or repunched mint marks, could greatly increase its value. Error coins are often collected as a specialty category, and a 1951 penny with a well-documented and dramatic error could be worth several dollars or more, depending on the nature and visibility of the error. For collectors who are just starting out, the 1951 penny is a great coin to include in a wheat cent collection because it is widely available yet still old enough to feel like a piece of history. Coins in extra fine condition offer a good example of what a lightly circulated mid-century penny should look like, and they can be acquired without spending a lot of money. If you're planning to sell a 1951 D penny in extra fine condition, you can consider online platforms such as eBay, Etsy, or numismatic marketplaces. Coin dealers may also be interested if you have a group of similar quality coins, especially if you're selling a larger collection. Expect to receive offers between 25 and 50 cents for a typical extra fine coin, and possibly more if the coin has superior color, luster, or eye appeal. In conclusion, the 1951 D wheat penny in extra fine condition is not rare, but it still holds collectible value in today's coin market. With typical prices ranging from a quarter to about 75 cents, depending on quality and presentation, it serves as a good example of how condition can significantly influence a coin's value. It's also a reminder that even common coins can be worth saving if they're in better than average shape. Next up, the 1956 D wheat penny is a popular coin among collectors of Lincoln cents. Even though it is not considered rare, it is still widely collected for its place in history, and its value can vary depending on condition, errors, and demand. In this video, we'll take a closer look at the 1956 D wheat penny in good condition, discuss what makes it collectible, and find out how much it is worth in today's coin market. The Lincoln wheat penny, first minted in 1909, is one of the longest-running coin series in United States history. Designed by Victor D. Brenner, the front of the coin features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, while the reverse displays two stylized wheat ears, which gave the coin its popular name, the wheat penny. This reverse design was used until 1958, when it was replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design in 1959. The 1956 wheat penny with the D mint mark was struck at the Denver Mint. That year, the Denver Mint produced over 1.098 billion Lincoln wheat pennies, making it one of the more common dates in the entire series. With such a high mintage, most 1956 D pennies are not rare and are easily found in circulated condition. However, they remain an essential part of any complete wheat penny collection. When we talk about coin condition, we refer to the amount of wear the coin has experienced during its time in circulation. A coin in good condition, often referred to as G4 on the numismatic grading scale, shows heavy wear. Most of the finer details on the coin will be worn smooth, but the major features should still be visible. On the obverse of the 1956 D penny, Lincoln's profile will be worn down, but the date and lettering will still be legible. On the reverse, the wheat stalks may appear flat, and much of the finer detail will be gone, but the words 1 cent and United States of America will remain readable. So how much is a 1956 D wheat penny worth in good condition? In today's market, the typical value for one of these coins is around 3 to 5 cents. That may not sound like much, but it's still more than its face value. And many collectors are happy to include even lower-grade coins in their sets if they're affordable and historically significant. For coins in better condition, the value can increase. A 1956 D penny in very fine or extremely fine condition may be worth between 10 and 25 cents, while uncirculated coins with full mint luster can be worth $1 to $5 or more, depending on eye appeal and color. Original red examples graded mint state by services like PCGS or NGC can sell for even higher, especially in higher MS grades like MS65 or MS66. But what makes the 1956 D wheat penny especially interesting to some collectors are the small varieties and errors that can sometimes be found among them. While the regular version of the coin is common, certain errors can significantly increase a coin's value. These errors include doubled dies, repunched mint marks, RPMs, die cracks, and off-center strikes. Among these, The repunched mint mark varieties are the most commonly collected for 1956D. A repunched mint mark occurs when the D was stamped into the die more than once, but in slightly different positions. On some coins, this results in a visible doubling of the D mint mark. These coins are not necessarily rare, but they are more valuable than the standard version. Depending on the strength and visibility of the repunching and the overall condition of the coin, a 1956D RPM can be worth anywhere from $5 to $25 or more, even in circulated grades. There are also some minor doubled die obverse varieties for 1956 to D, though they are usually not dramatic and can be hard to spot without magnification. However, any genuine doubled die variety will have more value than a standard example. As always, it's best to compare your coin to authenticated examples or have it reviewed by a coin dealer or grading service if you suspect you may have one of these varieties. If you're wondering whether to keep or sell a 1956 D penny in good condition, the answer depends on your goals. If you're just getting into coin collecting, it's a great coin to hold on to. It's part of a classic series, and it helps tell the story of U.S. coinage in the mid-20th century. On the other hand, if you're sorting through a large collection and trying to estimate overall value, keep in mind that individual 1956 D pennies in low grades are very common and typically only add a few cents each to the collection's total worth. The sentimental or educational value of a coin like this can also be meaningful. Many collectors remember finding wheat pennies in their pocket change when they were younger or inheriting them from relatives. Even common dates like the 1956D connect people to history in a tangible way and can spark a lifelong interest in numismatics. To summarize, the 1956D wheat penny is one of the more common coins from the wheat cent era, with over 1 billion minted. In good condition, its value in today's market is about 3 to 5 cents. Higher-grade coins, and those with visible errors, like repunched mint marks, can be worth more. While it may not be a rare or high-value coin, it's an important piece of American coin history, and a favorite among collectors who enjoy assembling full sets of Lincoln wheat cents. Next up, the 1957 D is one of the more common dates in this long and historic series. The obverse of the coin features the familiar profile of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner, while the reverse features 2 wheat ears flanking. The words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the motto E pluribus unum. This design was used for almost 50 years, and collectors across the country continue to seek out high-quality examples to complete their sets. Now focusing specifically on the 1957 D penny, the D mint mark below the date indicates that the coin was minted in Denver. In that year, the Denver Mint produced over 1 billion wheat pennies, making it one of the highest mintage years in the entire wheat penny series. Because of this massive production, the 1957 D wheat penny is far from rare in circulated condition, and even in higher grades, it remains widely available on the market. However, not all 1957 D wheat pennies are valued the same. The condition of the coin makes a significant difference in determining how much it is worth today. In this video, we are looking specifically at coins in extra fine condition, which is a higher circulated grade, and indicates that the coin has seen some light wear but still retains sharp detail across most of its design features. In extra fine condition, a 1957 D wheat penny will have visible lines in Lincoln's hair and coat, with only minor signs of wear on the high points of the design. The wheat ears on the reverse should show full lines and good separation between the grains. The coin may have lost some of its original mint luster, but the overall eye appeal remains strong for collectors looking for affordable yet attractive coins as of the current market value. In today's collecting environment, a 1957 D wheat penny in extra fine condition typically sells for about 25 cents to 50 cents, depending on the exact appearance color and whether it has any additional desirable traits, such as red, or red-brown toning coins that still retain some of their original red mint color tend to be valued slightly higher than those that have turned brown from oxidation over time. If the coin has been well preserved and shows minimal wear, with a strong strike and even toning, it may be worth closer to 50 cents. In some cases, examples that show slightly better eye appeal or nearly full red color can bring prices up to 75 cents, or even $1 when sold individually to the right buyer. Although this is less common, while that might not sound like a high amount, it is important to remember that the coin originally had a face value of 1 cent and has now appreciated up to 50 times its original value, just for being in better condition than most others from the same year. In a market flooded with lower-grade wheat pennies, a coin in extra fine condition is a more desirable example, and one that collectors might purchase to upgrade a spot in their set-in general wheat. Pennies from the 1950s are among the most accessible and affordable for beginning collectors, and the 1957 D is no exception. Because of their abundance, they are often used in starter collections and are frequently included in coin albums and educational kits. However, collectors still seek out coins in better grades, and extra fine is one of the higher circulated grades just below about uncirculated and uncirculated or mint state levels. It is also worth noting that values can fluctuate slightly, depending on market demand and other external factors such as the price of copper. While the 1957 D penny is made primarily of copper, the metal value of the coin does not exceed its numismatic value, and it remains illegal to melt down U.S. cents. For their metal content, as of current regulations, collectors interested in buying or selling a 1957 D penny in extra fine condition often turn to online platforms such as eBay, coin marketplaces, or local coin shops, where coins in this grade can be bought or sold individually or in bulk. Some sellers offer lots of extra fine wheat pennies as part of themed sets, while others list individual coins with high-quality photos and descriptions emphasizing the condition, color, and details of the coin. If you are selling a 1957 D penny in extra fine condition, you can expect to receive between 25 and 50 cents for it from most buyers. Coins that are certified by professional grading companies like PCGS or NGC might command slightly higher premiums if they are graded and slabbed, but because the cost of certification can exceed the value of the coin. In this grade, most raw coins are traded without formal grading coins with minor mint errors or die varieties such as repunched. Mint marks can also increase in value, but these must be clearly identifiable, and verified errors on the 1957 D penny are not especially common, but they do exist, and collectors are often willing to pay more for coins with visible and interesting mistakes that occurred during the minting process. In summary, the 1957 D wheat penny in extra fine condition is not rare, but it does carry a modest value in today's market due to its sharper detail and overall better preservation compared to heavily circulated examples, with typical values ranging between a quarter and 50 cents, depending on color and eye appeal. This coin represents a great opportunity for collectors to obtain a quality mid-century wheat penny without spending a lot of money. Whether you are a seasoned collector or just starting out, coins like the 1957 D wheat penny in extra fine condition offer both historical interest and collectible value, and can serve as an affordable way to enhance your collection or learn more about American numismatics. Next up, the 1955 wheat penny is one of the most talked-about coins in U.S. coin collecting, and for good reason. While most 1955 wheat cents are common and easily found in circulated condition, one particular version, without a mint mark, can be incredibly valuable. In this video, we're going to explore everything you need to know about the 1955 wheat penny from the Philadelphia Mint, including how to identify valuable varieties, what counts as nice condition, and how much these coins are worth in today's market. First, let's talk about the basics. The 1955 wheat penny is part of the long-running Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909. It features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse, and two stalks of wheat on the reverse, which gives the coin its popular nickname, the wheat penny. In 1955, these pennies were made of 95% copper and 5% tin and zinc, with each coin weighing about 3.11 grams. The Philadelphia Mint produced over 330 million wheat pennies in 1955. These coins do not carry a mint mark, as was standard for Philadelphia coins at the time. Because of that large mintage, most 1955 pennies without a mint mark are relatively common, especially in circulated condition. However, that doesn't mean they're worthless. Coins in better condition and, more importantly, certain varieties from that year can be worth significantly more. When collectors talk about a coin being in nice condition, they usually mean it is somewhere between very fine and about uncirculated on the grading scale. These coins have moderate wear, but retain most of their design details. The lines in Lincoln's coat are visible, the lettering is clear, and the wheat stalks on the reverse show decent definition. The coin may have some luster and little to no discoloration. So, what is a typical 1955 wheat penny in nice condition worth today? On the low end, if the coin shows light wear and retains strong detail, its market value is usually between 10 cents and 50 cents. Coins in even better condition, such as about uncirculated or uncirculated, can bring in between $1 and $5, depending on eye appeal and coloration. Original red coins, meaning they retain their bright original copper color, can command higher prices, especially in mint state grades. But here's where things get really interesting. The 1955 wheat penny is home to one of the most famous error coins in American numismatic history, the 1955 doubled die obverse. This variety was the result of a major die error during production. A working die received a misaligned second impression from the hub, which created strong doubling in the lettering and numbers on the front of the coin. In a genuine 1955 doubled die penny, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," as well as the date 1955, all appear with strong, clear doubling. This is not a subtle mistake. It's visible even to the naked eye. Because the error was dramatic and thousands of these coins were released into circulation before the mistake was caught, they quickly became famous and highly sought after. Today, a 1955 doubled die wheat penny is considered one of the must-haves for serious Lincoln Cent collectors, and its value reflects that. Even in well-circulated condition, this coin can sell for $1,000 or more. In nice condition, such as extremely fine or about uncirculated, it can fetch between $2,000 and $5,000. In uncirculated, red mint state grades, prices range from $10,000 to $20,000 or higher, depending on the coin's quality and whether it has been certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Because of the high value of the doubled die, there are many look-alike coins that cause confusion. Machine doubling, which happens when the coin shifts slightly during the striking process, can create a flat or shelf-like doubling effect, but it is not the same as a true doubled die. Machine doubling does not add any value. To determine whether your coin is a genuine doubled die, it's best to compare it to verified images from reputable sources or have the coin authenticated by a professional. So, if you have a 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark, your first step should be to examine the date and lettering on the front of the coin. If you see strong doubling in the key areas, it's worth getting it evaluated professionally. Even if it's not the famous error variety, a 1955 penny in nice condition still has collector interest. particularly if it shows minimal wear or has good color. It's also worth noting that wheat pennies continue to attract collectors today, even decades after the last one was minted in 1958. Building a full set of Lincoln wheat cents is a popular collecting goal, and the 1955 issue, especially the double die, is one of the highlights of the series. In summary, a regular 1955 wheat penny without a mint mark in nice condition is usually worth between 10 cents and 50 cents, with higher prices for coins that are close to uncirculated. However, if your coin happens to be the rare and famous doubled die variety, its value could range from $1,000 to over $20,000, depending on condition and certification. Because of this, it's always worth taking a second look at any 1955 wheat pennies you come across. Next up, the 1943 steel penny is one of the most talked-about coins in American coin collecting. It's known for its distinctive appearance, unique composition, and wartime history. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at one specific version of this coin, the 1943 steel penny with the S Mint mark, which was produced at the San Francisco Mint. We'll explore why this coin was made of steel, what makes it interesting to collectors, and how much it's worth today if it's in extra fine condition. To begin, let's briefly look at the background of the 1943 penny. During World War II, the United States was conserving copper for the war effort, especially for making ammunition and other military supplies. To save copper, the U.S. Mint decided to produce pennies using a steel core coated with a thin layer of zinc. This change was only made for 1 year. So all regular-issue Lincoln cents produced in 1943 were struck in steel rather than copper. The result was a coin that looked very different from the typical brown or red tone of previous Lincoln wheat pennies. Instead, the 1943 pennies had a shiny, silver-gray appearance due to the zinc coating. While they may look like dimes at first glance, these coins still carry the 1-cent denomination and feature the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and 2 wheat ears on the reverse. The design remained unchanged. Only the metal content was different. The 1943 steel penny was struck at all 3 mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The San Francisco Mint coins are identified by an S Mint mark located just below the date. Over 191 million steel cents were produced at the San Francisco Mint in 1943, which makes it a high mintage coin. However, condition and historical interest still make some of these coins quite desirable to collectors. Let's talk about condition. In coin collecting, condition is everything when it comes to value. A coin in extra fine condition, or XF, has only minor signs of wear on the highest points of the design. For the 1943 S steel penny, this means you'll still see strong detail in Lincoln's hair and beard, clear lettering, and well-defined wheat ears on the reverse. While there might be some light wear from circulation, the coin remains sharp and attractive overall. As of today, a 1943 S steel penny in extra fine condition typically sells for around 50 cents to 75 cents in the collector market. This is quite a bit more than face value, especially for a coin that was produced in such large numbers. The reason for this value is not just rarity, but demand. The 1943 steel cent is one of the most collected coins in the Lincoln series. Because it stands out visually from other pennies and has a direct connection to World War II, it attracts a wide range of collectors, from beginners to experts. If you have a 1943 S steel penny and you're wondering how to tell if it's in extra fine condition, you'll want to check a few specific areas. On the obverse, Lincoln's cheek and jawline should show only slight wear, and the lines in his coat should still be visible. On the reverse, look at the tops of the wheat ears. If they are mostly intact with only light wear, the coin may qualify as extra fine. The surfaces should still have some of their original luster, and the rim should be full and complete. Now, it's important to mention that steel pennies have some unique issues that affect their long-term condition. One of the biggest problems is corrosion. The zinc coating on the coin was meant to protect the steel core from rust, but if the coating wears off or is damaged, the steel underneath can start to corrode. A corroded steel penny, even in what was once extra fine condition, can lose much of its collector value. That's why well-preserved examples are still sought after, even if the coin itself is not considered rare. On the other end of the spectrum, uncirculated or mint state 1943s steel pennies can sell for significantly higher prices. In grades like MS-63 or MS-65, these coins can sell for several dollars, often ranging from $5 to $15 depending on the coin's quality, color, and whether it has been professionally graded. Bright, uncorroded coins with full luster are especially valuable. But for today's video, we're focusing on extra fine condition, which still holds respectable value for a circulated coin. There's also a lot of confusion around the 1943 penny because of the famous error coins struck on bronze planchets instead of steel. These are extremely rare and valuable, sometimes selling for tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars at auction. However, these copper 1943 pennies are completely different from the standard steel cents. If you have a 1943 penny that looks brown or copper-colored, it might be worth having it professionally tested, but for most people, the coins they find are the normal steel versions. To summarize, the 1943 steel penny is a common but fascinating coin from a unique time in American history. In extra fine condition, its current market value is around 50 to 75 cents. While it's not going to make you rich, it's worth far more than face value and serves as a tangible reminder of the sacrifices made during World War II. Whether you're collecting for fun or for investment, a 1943 steel penny in extra fine condition is a worthwhile piece to have in your collection. Next up, the 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark, and we will focus specifically on its value in good condition in today's coin market. This coin is often found in pocket change, old coin jars, and family collections. And while it may not be rare, it still holds a place of interest for many collectors, especially those who are just starting out or building a full wheat penny collection. The 1944 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series, which began in 1909 and continued with the wheat reverse, design until 1958. Designed by Victor David Brenner. The coin features the bust of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two stylized wheat stalks on the reverse, along with the words 1 cent United States of America and the motto E pluribus unum. The design is iconic and instantly recognizable even to those who are not active coin collectors. The version of the 1944 penny without a mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which did not use a mint mark on its coins during that period. In total, over 1 billion 1944 wheat pennies were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, making it one of the highest production years in the entire wheat penny series. This high mintage is a key factor in determining the coin's value today, since rarity plays a large role in a coin's market price. Now let's talk about condition, since that is another major factor in evaluating any coin's worth. When we say a coin is in good condition, we are referring to a grade on the lower end of the coin grading scale. In this state, a 1944 wheat penny will show heavy wear, the fine details in Lincoln's hair, and coat will likely be worn smooth, and the reverse wheat stalks will be visible, but flattened and missing much of their original detail. Despite this level of wear, the coin is still identifiable and the date and lettering are clear, which is why it still falls into the good grade category rather than being considered damaged. In today's market, a 1944 wheat penny from the Philadelphia Mint, in good condition, typically carries a value of around 2 to 5 cents. While that may not seem like a lot, it is still 2 to 5 times its original face value and demonstrates how even common old coins can carry a bit of extra worth, based on their age and historical context. This small value also reflects how abundant this coin still is, especially in lower grades, like good or very good. One reason so many 1944 pennies exist today is because they were struck in large numbers after the wartime steel cent experiment of 1943. In 1943, the U.S. Mint used zinc-coated steel to make pennies to conserve copper for the war effort. However, the steel cents rusted easily and were not popular, so in 1944, the Mint returned to using a bronze alloy composed primarily of copper. As a result, there was a renewed production of bronze wheat pennies, and this year produced more than 1.5 billion across all mints, with Philadelphia alone producing over 1 billion of them, because so many were saved and circulated heavily. The 1944 wheat penny, in good condition, is easy to find, which limits its numismatic value. This is especially true for those without a mint mark, since the Philadelphia version was the most heavily minted among the 3 locations that year. Denver and San Francisco also produced 1944 wheat pennies, and those coins can be identified by the small D or S mint mark below the date. Now, while most 1944 no mint mark wheat pennies in good condition are only worth a few cents, there are some special circumstances that can increase the value. For example, if a 1944 penny was struck on a steel planchet left over from 1943, this would be considered a major mint error, and such coins are extremely rare and valuable. These error coins can be worth tens of thousands of dollars, depending on condition and verification by a grading service. However, these are very rare and not to be confused with the standard copper version. Another factor that may influence the value slightly is eye appeal. Even in good condition, some coins have a more attractive appearance due to even wear original color or lack of damage. Coins with dark toning stains or corrosion may fall on the lower end of the value range, while those with more uniform surfaces and better color might sell for a bit more within the same grade. If you are looking to sell a 1944 wheat penny with no mint mark in good condition, the best option is usually to sell it in bulk with other wheat pennies. Rather than individually, coin dealers and collectors often buy wheat cents in rolls or mixed lots, and in this context, each coin might bring 2 to 4 cents, depending on the total quantity and average condition on the buying side if you are a beginner collector or helping someone start a coin collection. The 1944 penny is an excellent and affordable addition. It is one of the most accessible examples from the Wheat Penny series and helps tell the story of American coinage during and after World War II. It also provides a visual contrast to the steel cents of 1943, which makes it interesting to those learning about coin history. To sum it up, the 1944 wheat penny, without a mint mark, is one of the most common wheat cents in circulation. Today, and in good condition, its value in the current market is modest, usually between 2 and 5 cents. Still, it remains a significant historical coin and a favorite among beginner collectors due to its availability and its connection to the wartime economy. While most examples are not rare, the sheer age of the coin and the story behind its production give it a collectible charm that goes beyond its monetary value. Next up, the 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark, which means it was minted in Philadelphia. We'll talk about its history, key features, and most importantly, its value in today's market if it's in good condition. First, let's understand the basics of this coin. The 1942 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Cent series that began in 1909. These pennies were designed by Victor D. Brenner, and they feature the familiar portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front, or obverse, side. The reverse side has 2 wheat stalks that border the words 1 cent and United States of America. This reverse design led to the nickname wheat penny, which collectors and the general public still use today. In 1942, the Philadelphia Mint produced over 657 million Lincoln wheat cents. This was during World War II, and the U.S. Mint was producing large quantities of coins to support the wartime economy. The Philadelphia version of the coin, which has no mint mark under the date, is by far the most common variety of the 1942 penny. Given the high mintage number, it's not considered a rare coin. However, its value can still be meaningful, especially to collectors who care about condition and completeness of their wheat penny sets. Now, let's talk about what it means when we say a coin is in good condition. In coin collecting, the condition of a coin is typically graded on a scale that ranges from poor to mint state. A coin in good condition, or G4 on the grading scale, has been heavily circulated. The design is still visible, but there will be significant wear. On a 1942 wheat penny in good condition, you can still clearly see the date and the outline of Lincoln's portrait, although finer details like the hair or the lines in his coat may be worn smooth. The wheat ears on the reverse will also be flat in most areas. As of today, a 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is worth around 5 to 10 cents. While that may not sound like a lot, it's still up to 10 times its face value, and that's a good return for a coin that many people still find in old collections or even in loose change. The reason it holds any value at all, despite being common, is because of its age, and because it's part of a historical series that remains popular with collectors. If the coin is in better condition, say, very fine or extremely fine, the value increases modestly. In very fine condition, a 1942 wheat penny might be worth around 20 to 30 cents. In extremely fine condition, where most of the detail is still visible and wear is minimal, it can be worth up to 50 cents or slightly more. These values are influenced by the overall market for wheat pennies and the interest from collectors. Things become more interesting when the coin is in uncirculated, or mint state, condition. An uncirculated 1942 wheat penny with original red color and no signs of wear can be worth anywhere from $2 to $10, depending on the exact grade. In higher mint state grades like MS 65, the coin might fetch $20 or more, especially if it has been graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. Professional grading adds credibility and can significantly raise the market value of a coin, especially when it comes to mint state or high-quality examples. While the coin itself isn't rare, finding one in pristine, uncirculated condition is much less common. That's why collectors are willing to pay more for coins that have retained their original color, shine, and detail after more than 80 years. It's also worth noting that some era coins from 1942 have fetched high prices at auction. For example, a 1942 penny struck on the wrong planchet or one with a doubled die error can be worth much more than a standard example. These types of era coins are extremely rare, and they are generally verified by professional graders before being sold at premium prices. That being said, the average 1942 wheat penny without a mint mark found in good condition is not likely to be an error coin, but it never hurts to examine your coin carefully or get a second opinion if something about it looks unusual. Small details, such as misaligned lettering, doubling, or odd coloration, can sometimes indicate an error or variety that boosts the value well beyond normal estimates. So, to summarize, a 1942 wheat penny from the Philadelphia Mint, which has no mint mark, is a common coin with a high mintage. In good condition, its value today is typically 5 to 10 cents. Coins in better condition can range from 20 cents up to a few dollars, and uncirculated examples can go for even more. While not a rare treasure, the 1942 wheat penny remains an accessible and meaningful collectible for both beginner and experienced coin collectors. The real value of this coin often lies in its role as part of a complete set, its historical significance, and the condition in which it has survived over the decades. Whether you're just starting out in coin collecting or sorting through an old family collection, it's always worth checking the condition and details of your wheat pennies. Sometimes, even common coins can surprise you with their story. and their value. Next up, the 1940 Lincoln wheat penny, without a mint mark, and focus on how much it is worth in today's coin market when found in good condition. This coin may seem like just another old penny, but it holds an important place in American numismatic history, and for collectors, especially beginners, it represents an affordable and interesting piece of the past. The 1940 wheat penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series that began in 1909 and continued with the wheat ears reverse design. Until 1958, this design was created by Victor David Brenner and features a portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin. The reverse side includes 2 wheat stalks on each side of the coin, framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, along with the Latin motto E pluribus unum, which means out of many one. When a 1940 penny does not have a mint mark, it means it was produced at the Philadelphia Mint, which during that time did not include mint marks on its coins. The Philadelphia Mint produced a very large number of these coins in 1940, with over 586 million wheat pennies struck at this facility alone. That high mintage number plays a major role in determining the current value of the coin, especially when it is found in lower grades like good condition. So what does good condition mean in the world of coin collecting? When a coin is graded as good, it is on the lower end of the grading scale. This means that the coin has seen heavy circulation and has noticeable wear. Most of the finer details of the coin's design will be worn down. The lines in Lincoln's coat will be nearly flat, and the wheat stalks on the reverse will have lost most of their individual lines. Despite this, where the date and lettering are still clearly visible, and the coin is still identifiable, which keeps it from being considered damaged or ungradable. Now let's talk about the current value of the 1940 wheat penny, with no mint mark, in good condition, because of the large number of coins minted and the amount that still exists today. This particular penny is very common. Most examples in good condition are worth about 2 to 5 cents, depending on the coin's appearance and demand at the time of sale. That is about 2 to 5 times its original face value, which may not sound like much, but it does reflect the coin's collectible status. Coins in this condition are usually not sold individually unless they are part of a larger lot or a complete set. Instead, they are often grouped with other wheat pennies and sold in bulk on platforms like eBay, coin shows, or local coin shops. Buyers may be interested in rolls of 50 or 100 wheat cents, where each coin is valued around 2 to 4 cents, depending on overall grade and eye appeal. What collectors do appreciate about the 1940 penny, even in lower grades, is its historical value. This coin was produced at the start of a new decade, just before the United States entered World War II. It represents an era of American history that many collectors find fascinating, and it serves as a window into everyday life during that time. While the value of a standard 1940 wheat penny with no mint mark in good condition is low, there are exceptions that can significantly increase the coin's worth. For example, if a 1940 penny was struck with a rare mint error, such as a doubled die, an off-center strike, or a planchet error, it could be worth much more than a few cents. Coins with visible and dramatic errors have sold for several dollars, and sometimes even higher, depending on the type of error and the condition of the coin. However, these error coins are rare, and most examples of the 1940 no mint mark penny found in circulation will be ordinary coins without such features. In addition to mint errors, some coins may carry a small premium if they have especially nice color or a natural, even tone that adds to their eye appeal. Even within the good grade, some coins can look cleaner or more attractive, which might make them more desirable to certain buyers. One thing to keep in mind is that copper coins like the 1940 penny can develop dark brown or even black surfaces due to oxidation. This is normal and expected for coins of this age, and while it does not necessarily lower the value in this grade, it can affect how visually appealing the coin is. A coin with an even brown tone is usually preferred over one with spotting stains or corrosion if you are looking to sell a 1940 wheat penny in good condition. Your best strategy is to group it with other wheat pennies and sell them as a lot. This way, the combined value of the group can make the sale more worthwhile. Coin dealers and collectors looking for bulk wheat pennies will sometimes pay 2 to 4 cents per coin, depending on the overall condition and quantity. For new collectors, the 1940 wheat penny offers an affordable entry point into the world of numismatics. It is a great coin to include in a starter set, and its historical background gives it more interest than its low market price might suggest. Collectors who are building a full Lincoln wheat cent set often seek out one example of each year, and mint mark combination, and even a lower grade 1940 penny can help fill that spot until a higher grade example is found. In summary, the 1940 wheat penny, without a mint mark in good condition, is one of the more common and affordable coins from the wheat penny series. Its value in today's market ranges from about 2 to 5 cents, depending on appearance and demand. While it is not considered rare or especially valuable, it remains a popular and collectible coin for those interested in American history. Coin collecting, or simply holding on to a piece of the past. The 1953 wheat penny without a mint mark. What makes it potentially valuable, and how much it's worth in today's coin market, specifically if it's in good condition. To start, the 1953 wheat penny is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which was minted from 1909 until 1958. The coin features the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, or front, and wheat stalks on the reverse, which give the coin its nickname, the wheat penny. These coins were designed by Victor D. Brenner and were the first U.S. coins to feature a real, historical person rather than a symbolic representation. Now, the lack of a mint mark on a 1953 penny means that it was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In 1953, Philadelphia produced over 256 million of these coins, making it one of the more common issues in the wheat penny series. So at first glance, you might think that this coin wouldn't be worth much, and in heavily circulated condition, that's generally true. However, there's more to the story. Let's define what good condition means in the world of coin collecting. Grading plays a huge role in determining a coin's value. In general, a coin graded as good, or G4 on the grading scale, will have heavy wear. Most major details of the design will be visible, but flat in many areas. Despite this wear, even coins in this condition can carry some value depending on demand. As of today, a 1953 wheat penny without a mint mark in good condition is typically worth between 5 to 10 cents. That's not a fortune by any means, but it's still more than its face value, and it demonstrates the enduring interest collectors have in wheat pennies as a whole. The appeal of these coins isn't just about rarity. It's also about their place in American history and the nostalgia they bring for mid-20th century coinage. Now, the real value of a 1953 wheat penny becomes more apparent as the condition improves. For example, a coin in fine or very fine condition, where more details are visible and less wear is present, might fetch around 25 cents to 50 cents. In extremely fine condition, where there is minimal wear on the high points of Lincoln's face and coat, the value can go up to $1 or slightly more. But what if the coin is in uncirculated condition? That's where things start to get more interesting. An uncirculated 1953 penny without a mint mark, which shows no signs of wear and still has its original luster, can be worth several dollars. On average, these coins might sell for anywhere from $2 to $5, depending on eye appeal, color, and strike quality. Red-colored uncirculated coins, which have retained their original copper shine, tend to command higher prices, sometimes even exceeding $10 or more for high-grade examples. And of course, when we talk about rare and valuable coins, we have to mention third-party grading. Coins that have been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC tend to sell for more because buyers have confidence in their authenticity and condition. A 1953 wheat penny graded MS-65 read by PCGS, for instance, could sell for anywhere from $20 to $50, depending on the market and the buyer's interest. While that might not sound like a huge amount, it's a decent return on a coin that was once just 1 cent. And if you have a full roll or collection of wheat pennies, those values can start to add up. In some rare cases, coins with mint errors, like double dies, off-center strikes, or repunched mint marks, can be worth much more. Though most error coins from 1953 are rare, it's always worth taking a closer look at your coin under a magnifying glass or getting a second opinion from a professional. It's also worth noting that the market for coins is always changing. Interest in wheat pennies has stayed strong due to their iconic design and historical relevance. More and more collectors, especially younger ones just getting started, are seeking out wheat pennies as a way to begin their coin collecting journey. That demand helps maintain and sometimes boost the value of even common dates like 1953. So, to recap, if you have a 1953 wheat penny without a mint mark and it's in good condition, you're probably looking at a value of around 5 to 10 cents. That might not be life-changing money, but it's still interesting to see how a coin can appreciate over time simply due to its age and place in history. And if your coin is in better condition, say, very fine or uncirculated, then you might be able to get anywhere from a few dollars to even more, especially if the coin has been professionally graded or has an unusual feature. If you're holding on to one of these coins or thinking of starting a wheat penny collection, it's a fun and accessible area of coin collecting that doesn't require a huge investment to get started. Keep your eyes open, do your research, and you never know what kind of value you might find in a simple copper coin from over 70 years ago. Next up, the 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark, and break down its value in today's coin market when found in extra fine condition. This coin is part of the Lincoln Wheat Cent series, which has become one of the most collected coin types in the United States. It offers both historical interest and collectible value, especially when preserved in better grades like extra fine. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. It was the first regular issue United States coin to feature a real person on the obverse, which was a significant shift from previous coin designs. The designer Victor David Brenner created a simple and powerful image of Lincoln facing right, with the motto, "In God We Trust." Above the portrait, the word "Liberty" on the left and the date on the right. The reverse of the coin features 2 wheat stalks, one on each side with the words 1 cent and United States of America between them along, with the Latin phrase E pluribus unum now focusing on the 1937 wheat penny without a mint mark. This coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which, as was standard practice at the time, did not use a mint mark. Philadelphia produced over 309 million of these coins in 1937, making it a fairly high mintage year. While that large number means the coin is not rare, its value increases significantly when it is found in higher grades. The coin grading scale plays an important role when it comes to determining how much a coin is worth. Extra fine condition is one of the higher circulated grades and is usually assigned to coins that still show strong detail with only slight wear on the highest points. For a 1937 wheat penny in extra fine condition, Lincoln's hair and beard will still have good definition, and the lines in his coat will be mostly visible. On the reverse, the wheat ears will show strong separation in the lines, and the fields will be mostly smooth with just light wear in today's market. A 1937 No mint mark wheat penny in extra fine condition is typically worth between 75 cents and $1.50, depending on the coin's overall eye appeal tone and luster. This value reflects both its condition and its age. As coins from the 1930s are becoming increasingly harder to find in well-preserved circulated condition. While this is not considered a rare coin in general, extra fine examples do stand out and appeal to collectors who are looking to build a complete set with higher quality pieces. Color can also influence value, especially for copper coins, like the wheat cent, a 1937 penny, in extra fine condition that has retained some of its original red or red-brown coloring from the mint, may bring in slightly more than a dull brown or dark-toned version. While red coins are most desirable, they are harder to find among circulated coins from this era due to the natural aging of copper and exposure to the environment over time. Another factor that can influence the price is the presence of any minor mint errors or die varieties. For example, if a 1937 penny has a doubled die or repunched date or shows signs of a die, crack, or off-center strike, it may be worth significantly more than the standard market price, even in extra fine condition. These error coins are relatively rare and must be verified by a trusted grading service or experienced dealer. If you are interested in selling a 1937 wheat penny in extra fine condition, there are several options available. You can list it individually on online marketplaces like eBay, or sell it through coin dealers or local coin shops. Some collectors prefer to sell these coins as part of a date set or alongside other wheat cents from the same era. Coins that are certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC may also sell for a higher premium because buyers trust the accuracy of the grade. For those looking to buy a 1937 no mint mark wheat penny in extra fine condition, the price is generally affordable, which makes it an attractive option for collectors who want high-quality coins without having to spend too much money. These coins are still accessible, but well-preserved examples are becoming scarcer as more are added to private collections, and fewer remain in the open market. It is also worth noting that the 1930s were an important time in American history. The country was still feeling the effects of the Great Depression, and the economy was slowly recovering. The production of coins during this time remained strong, and the wheat penny continued to be an essential part of daily commerce. Holding a coin like the 1937 wheat penny offers not just collectible value, but also a direct connection to the people and stories of that era. To summarize, the 1937 wheat penny, without a mint mark in extra fine condition, is not a rare coin in terms of mintage, but its value in today's market reflects its age-strong detail and collector demand, with prices typically ranging from 75 cents to $1.50 or more, depending on eye appeal and color. It stands as a valuable and desirable piece within the wheat penny series, especially for those who are working toward assembling a full high-quality collection. Whether you are buying or selling this coin, it represents a solid example of mid-20th century American coinage and continues to be a favorite among numismatists for its design history and enduring presence in the hobby of coin collecting.